All right. Well, everyone, welcome to the very first 99-cent book club discussion. I'm so glad that you are all here. I am Leanna George. I'm an author and I'm the co-owner of Scrivenings Press. And doing this book club was my idea. So it's kind of like my baby. I'm very excited to be here with all of y'all tonight and especially happy to have Gina with us to answer some of our questions and um, give us some more insight to the book itself. It was a really good book, The Puzzle Within, which is a romantic suspense.
It
Um,
was really
it was very, very good. And I look forward to
good.
reading book two, which just came out a few weeks ago, The Escape Game. Um, I am just, I am just going to start. I am just blown. My mind is just blown by how you create these puzzles, right? And I mean, all the things, the ciphers and the codes and the enigmas, notes, right? It was just, I mean, who thinks like that? I mean, really, who thinks like that? I was just so impressed by that. Does anybody else?
hmm
So, anyway, I won't talk the whole time, I promise. So I just want to start by asking everyone, what were your thoughts? I mean, we all said we loved it, but, I told you what really captured my interest. I mean, the story was great, but I was just like, how does she do this? How does she do this? But anybody else?
I wondered if do you like going to those escape rooms? I was going to say yes. It
Yes.
was so cool. I've only done one, but thank goodness I did the one because I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking through my experience, and as I was reading your story, so I thought, oh, I bet she. It was very good. I just loved it. There were some things I did not see coming, which that's always great. When
Yeah.
you can't predict who the bad guy is or or that she was adopted, or hopefully everybody's read it. So, yeah.
Yeah, we are going to have spoilers on here tonight. So if
Yeah.
you haven't read it, let's just get that out of the way. There will be
Yeah.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Just their overall thoughts or
I'm just amazed at how you put it all together and it all fit, just like the puzzle in the book. I don't write that way. And so to get it all, and the thing is, it was so realistic. There's no loose ends where, nah, there's no way that could have happened. You pulled it all together so well. The characters are just fantastic.
yeah. So
Thank
let's
you.
let's talk about that. I mean, unless Janet, you had something else you wanted to add just in general. You don't have to.
I think her mic's
Like
off.
I said, I'm trying to figure out how to do this on my phone.
Uh, you're fine. I mean, you can just leave, you can leave
Thanks.
it, you can leave yourself on and
Mhm.
that way you can jump in whenever you want to. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, did you have any thoughts or anything?
I thought it was a great premise. I had never thought about reading a book about an escape room. I don't even think I don't even think I've ever seen a movie about an escape room, although I really wanted to because it really fascinates me. So this is very interesting how this started off. I really enjoyed it.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so Betty, you brought up something that I wanted to ask about, and that was characters, because you said you really like the characters. Was there any one character that you guys just really felt connected to, or you know, really were like, wow, you can see that transformation in that person and different things like that?
I like Nick.
Yeah.
I thought he was very cool. I love that he was a magician, an escape artist before. So yeah, because when he went in the Shark Tank, I was like, oh no, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Nick's gonna die. I
Uh-huh.
forgot about that. So I couldn't wait till I got back to him. I'm like, oh, he's got to be okay. And then I thought, oh, yeah, he was an escape artist. I forgot about
Yeah. Yeah. I thought, well, at first I was like, oh. that's interesting, dumping him in there. But then I was like, oh,
Oh
wait,
yeah.
he's an escape artist. And I guess as the writer in me, I'm like, you always have to use a skill that you introduce early, later
Mhm.
on in the book. So I was like, okay, now I see what she's doing here,
Mhm.
But I liked it. But you know what I liked about him? I liked that he didn't try to be, um, he let air, do you say it airy? Like Arizona?
Ari.
Ari. Okay, he let Ari be the bad, not the bad one, but the tough one, right? She was the one with
Mhm.
the gun. She was the one with all the training from Quantico, right? And
Uh-huh.
he didn't feel threatened by that, and he said it several times. I don't want a gun. I don't want to use a gun. I'm just a risk analyst, you know. And I
Yeah.
love that nature in him because it made him just to me more real.
I agree with you. I so agree with that. I really I thought that he was he seemed to be very comfortable with himself and with
Yeah.
his masculinity in order to let her take the lead, you know? I really like that, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was kind of tough, you know?
Yeah, she was. I mean, to be able to do the things that she did, yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Betty, how about you? Any thoughts on any of the characters?
I liked both of them, like I said, because they're so real. And like when Ari is lashing out about why God even allows all of this to happen, and he's real enough to tell her, "I don't know."
Yeah.
That is so much like that's what makes these people real and makes them instead of just characters in a book.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I can tell you in my head what their voices are like. They're probably different for Gina, but I mean, they are so real. You start thinking, I could pick these people's voices out in the room. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You really did. Thank you.
So, Gina, how do you develop your characters? I mean, what what what's your
Um,
process for that?
Trying to think of how to explain it. Um, Generally, I hear them start talking in my head,
Okay.
and
Mhm.
and so I feel like in my imagination, of course, not I don't really hear voices or anything weird, but they tell me their names, and I kind of interview them. I'll get little aspects, and then I'm like, okay, dig deeper into, well, why do you do that? And then, well, why is that? And then the pieces kind of come together as we dig deeper. And somehow, like in my imagination, I see them, and then I'll find a picture and I'm like, there they are.
Hmm.
That's exactly what they look like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. All right. So now I have to ask, did anybody think they had it figured out who Enigma was before you figured out who it was?
I had hints, but no, not till
Yeah.
I
I was
didn't.
guessing.
I didn't. I kind of thought so, but I really didn't. So yeah, it was very good. And you know what else I thought was really good? Because, as Christians, sometimes we can struggle with our faith. And she said she had come to faith in Jesus, but she was really struggling with his sovereignty. I thought that was so good. I loved how that was written into it. I think there's a lot of people who could probably relate to that in the book.
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah. I mean, don't we all struggle with it, with his control? Even if we are,
Yes.
we still struggle with that, right? And let's be real. Trust is hard for me, right? And it's a daily challenge to tell myself, okay, Lord, I'm going to trust you on this, and then let it go and keep walking, right? Because and I've been a Christian for since I was 12, so
Right.
Wow. Yeah,
it can.
that's so
Well, I'm
true.
not really surprised that most people didn't get it because I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that it was going to be who it was?
Oh,
No,
really? I
it was
love
really, it
that.
was intended to be the mother. Uh, it
Oh,
was supposed to be that she was the one the whole time. And then we get to this moment, and I'm like, it's not you. There's someone else. And I was like, oh, weird.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds like me.
Mhm.
wow.
I was
That's
thinking
really
the same
interesting.
thing. Yeah, I was thinking the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. And I'm thinking, oh my, this is a good twist. Okay.
Yeah, because I did think it was the mom, but then I'm like, but why would she want to hurt her own daughter? That wasn't getting to me. So I was like, no, it can't be her, but who else could it be? Um, so and I honestly I thought Keller was dead. I didn't know he was still one of the living mercenaries. So that was like I was like, oh, he's alive. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Well, um. Yeah, so at the end, let's talk about the title for just a second, and then we'll move into some questions. These are just my questions, and then we'll move into any you guys you may have, or Gina was kind enough to send us some for us to talk about. But it wasn't until the very end that when you talked about the puzzle within, how I really connected the title. I mean, I knew it was I knew that there was a puzzle. But it was that I think it was the very last page or next to last page, somewhere really close to the end, where she talked about the puzzle within her. Did anybody else connect that title with that thread?
Yeah, I was gonna go with the with both of them, the puzzle within the clock, within all these other puzzles, but she had things to solve in
Mm,
her own life too. And I really like that double meaning.
yeah, yeah.
I agree.
And was that your intention, or did it just start out to be the puzzle game, and then
That was my intention.
oh, okay.
The first what if question I asked was what if a villain brought escape room into the real world? The second what if question was what if there was a FBI agent who had nightmares of a kidnapping that people said never happened. And
Mm,
she was convinced they're memories and people said that that never happened.
mm,
So that was the second what if question. So I knew from the beginning that she had this confusion inside of her that needed to be solved.
mm. Okay. No, that was cool. That was really cool. I was like, oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, do y'all have any other questions for Gina that you're just sparked that, comes up to you before I dive into these questions with that she gave us?
Is Ari and Nick in the second book?
No, book two is all new characters, all new setting.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
forget.
Everything they're standalone. They're connected by the puzzle element to them.
Okay.
yeah. I had the same question, so I had to go look at the description for the next book just to see.
Yeah,
It's hard in
I'm
mind
very
want to
intrigued.
know.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued by the whole concept because only because I know about the formatting of the second book, and I knew you had lots of things in there that had special formatting issues, and so I'm like, okay, what does she have in that second book that I really want? What kind of codes and ciphers and puzzles? I'm so intrigued by that. I honestly, I think I love so many things about this book, but that was my favorite part because it is such a unique concept. You just don't see that.
Mm-mm.
No, I agree.
It needs to be a movie.
At times I could see it playing out as a movie. I thought, oh, I can see this. You especially have got the helicopter and people are hanging off the side, and
Hmm.
at the gala, and yeah, it really could be.
I kept waiting for the Shark Tank to break. I thought as soon as you brought that in, I was like, oh, somebody's going to shoot the Shark Tank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know. I was kind of like hanging on with bated breath. What's going to happen then? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking he's going to get out of that somehow because he's an escape artist.
That's
So
right.
Um,
Yeah. I did think about that though with the blood and how that would I mean I think the sharks would have been attracted whether there was blood or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I always think about that when I'm scuba diving, because I'm like, if I have a nick or a cut, I'm like, I don't want anything to attract some unwanted sea creature coming my way. So yeah, I was like, ooh, what if he did have blood?
Ooh.
So, all right. Any other thoughts? No? That's okay. That's okay. So, these questions are book club questions that take us a little bit more introspective within ourselves, I guess you could say, as we read the story. The first one says Aries spends much of the story questioning her own instincts and memories. Have you ever experienced a time when self-doubt kept you from trusting yourself, and how did that connect you to her character? So, how have you ever felt connected to Ari? Sorry.
Well, I think the letting go, like he told her, just let go.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
She wants to keep in control of everything and she wants to do a really good job. And they've questioned her ability to do well at what she does. And I don't know. It's kind of what I thought about just some of the like doubting herself, you know, I don't know, thinking that people were thinking things that I don't know whether they were thinking them or not, but you know what I mean? She had put that in her head because of her experiences that that was truth
Mhm.
instead of, you know, real reality or whatever. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had times that I know the Lord has given me a specific direction, but yet everything starts falling apart, or it takes so much longer than I thought it should, didn't go the way I thought it would. And then you start doubting, am I even on the right path?
Mhm.
mhm.
Absolutely.
And Ari was dealing with some of that, even though, the FBI is all she knew.
Yeah.
And so now what?
Yeah.
And where is God in all of this? So that I think a lot of people have been through that if they're going to be honest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. When I took over, I mean, when I came on board at Scrivenings, the same thing. When I hit those hard days and those questions and things aren't working out, I was like, Lord, did I hear you right? Am I
Mm-hmm.
sure this is what I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing? Because it doesn't feel like it right at this moment, right? But the key word there is feel. And we all know that the heart is deceitful above all else. And so we have to fight that inner nature of us that um, wants to be led by our feelings rather than what we know, God has said and what we've seen and lived out in our own lives and seen in scripture,
Yeah, I didn't expect my journey to publication to take so many years,
right? Yeah,
and all the things that happened that were roadblocks.
yeah,
But Scrivenings wasn't in business then when I started submitting. And
yeah,
this, God found the perfect home.
yeah, yeah. It can be. I mean, I've known just other circumstances and what's really hard and I think we saw this with Eric, is questioning God, Ari, questioning God, you know, why? Why isn't this easier? Why does this have to be so hard? Right? And different things like that. But I think just like with her, she grew from that. And so I think, I think that's for us as well.
Yeah. I could relate with her difficulty in giving up control because that was me for so many years and finally realizing that God is sovereign and it doesn't matter what you try to do, he's going to overrule if his plan is different and override it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was I could relate a lot with that.
Mhm. Yeah. And that's just and it's funny because one of the questions on here is one of the major themes in the story is control versus surrender. Where did you see that show up most strongly in the characters' choices? So that was a big part of that. So what was that a major theme when you started the story before, or did it just kind of come about as you wrote, Gina?
That one came about as I wrote. I started the book with kind of a different angle in mind, and this is one of the books where I watched God turn the story how he wanted the story to go and what he wanted the theme and the message to come from the characters' lives. I started with something else in mind and he directed as we went along. I
Yeah.
just kind of came along for the ride at
And
times.
did you have trouble surrendering, or were you like, you were like, no, this is my story, and did you keep fighting, trying to make the story go the way you originally thought it, or were you able to surrender and just let him have control?
Uh, I just, I've learned a long time ago not to fight it. If I fight it, then they don't work out right. And I'll be like, I can't put the story on paper. And find that it's because I'm trying to fight what um, needs to happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, then you can give it all lessons one day. Because I think,
I need that.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think the majority of it are still struggling. So, yeah, but I think, and that's what I love about stories so much is that when they're done well, then they really help you see yourself in there, right? It's not just a story that entertains, it's a story where you walk away thinking, I am a lot like that character in my unwillingness to let God control things. And how just transformative a story can actually be in our lives if we're open and willing to see that.
In every one of my books, there's been at least one scene element that I have argued with God about. And like, I don't want to put that in there. And for this book, it was some of the details about Ari's background
Mm,
and the high school situation. I was like, Lord, I don't want to. And
mm,
he's like, but this is where it comes from. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And
mm,
so that was one of the hardest things for me to put in there.
mm. Yeah, how do you handle that? I mean, because there was some dark stuff in there, right? We had the kidnappings, we had the sexual issues, um, the suicide of her friend. So how do how do you balance that darkness? How do you not let it get to you as a writer?
I think that I like what Jessica Patch has said about it is that it just makes the light that much brighter.
Mm, that's
When you bring the light into
Amen.
the story, it just makes it that much brighter when in contrast to the dark.
that's so very true. That's so
Hmm.
very true. Yeah. So one of the other things too was that both Nick and Ari are carrying grief, guilt, and unresolved trauma. So, but they cope in very different ways, right? And like most people do. So which character's emotional journey resonated with you, us, the reader, the most, and why?
Can I not have a favorite? Because I saw aspects of both of them. Nick was dealing with so much guilt, blamed himself for things. And the reason he became so methodical because he had been impulsive and it had ended so badly. And he blamed himself for things he couldn't even control.
Yeah.
And the guilt that he carried for so many years. And the same thing with Ari.
Mhm.
All these things, even though she didn't know so much about her past and had to find out about it sometimes the hard way when she found out she's adopted, just dumped on her.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else identify with that emotional journey? For me, it was the vengeance. I am a person who wants justice. So I'm like, if something is wrong, I want to right it, right? And if somebody did wrong, I want them to be punished. And so I really identified with Ari and her wanting to get justice for the wrongs that she had seen, right? And the why she was the way she was in her job. Um, because I tend to be that way, and I have to remember that, you know, like it said several times in the book, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But sometimes I am like, I want that to come fast. I want that to be immediate. Um, because I want to feel better, right? And it when it doesn't, I have to struggle with um the fact that God says, but it's not on my timing. And how do I balance that out, right? How do I can't even think of the word, but that for me, that emotional journey, I can really understand where she was coming from on that because I'm very
I understood her, when they were having this discussion and what she would do if she were God. I'd squash him like a bug some
yeah.
days. In fact, quite a few days, quite honestly. I mean, because that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing I'm not God.
Yep. Yeah. I know. I know. That's really hard. And I'm always thinking, well, they deserve this but then at the same time my mind is saying, or at least the spirit is saying to me, and you deserve the same, you know? Yeah. If not for Jesus and, his death. So,
Amen.
it's yeah. So, I don't want to be the losing one. I don't want to be the take up everybody. So anybody just jump in when you feel free if you've got something you want to say.
I
I just,
remember I
oh,
remember who Esme. I had thought Esme was the aunt.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I just thought she was shady through the whole thing.
Oh, because her aunt was
Ants.
out of town.
that's pretty cool.
I don't know why. I just thought she was shady. Sorry. That just
I
came
did.
to
I
me.
did at one point suspect her. I did.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I
Because I'm
did
like,
too in the beginning.
she's just kind of odd or
Well,
something. I don't know, because she was a position of power and I don't know.
she
Yeah.
would be the ones to know all of this about Ari too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Janet, did you have something you were trying to say a minute ago?
I was just going to say I could identify with the giving up of the control thing because God had to work long and hard with me on that one
Yeah.
because I struggled against him so much for so long. And finally, well, let's see. I've been walking with him for how many years now? 33. So after 33 years, I think I finally am kind of sort of getting it.
Yeah.
But
Don't
but
worry, we're
maybe
all
not.
slow learners.
We'll just have to wait and see. So, but
Yeah.
I can really relate to that. But thank you for asking.
Yeah. Gina, you look like
Well,
you're gonna say something. Yeah.
yeah, this book was written, I think some of the emotion, the connection to grief, because it was written through one of the hardest times that I had ever gone through in my life. In 2019, my parents divorced
Oh,
after 37 years of marriage.
wow.
I'm so
And
sorry.
so that was for me, that was going through that, my own personal journey as I built these characters and what they were going through in their lives.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of depth, honey. Thanks for sharing that. That's why it was,
Welcome.
it was really a good, deep book for me. It didn't seem shallow, or it didn't seem like it was written, quickly. You know what I'm saying? I could just sense some things there. That's really good. Thank you for sharing.
And that's why I really wanted to do this book club and have the authors on with us because for us to be able to sit here and discuss it just among us as the readers, is one thing, but to really have the author here to tell us that aspect of it, it just makes the story, like she said, Janet, even deeper, right? It just
Yes,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing that, Gina, because I know that
And
probably
it,
wasn't easy.
yeah, and if you go, if you like yourself, like Gina has gone through this bad time, when you go through hard times, it's really nice to read a book, where the characters are struggling with things and you can kind of identify on some level. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, I want to know, or from this question, the villain, she says the villain manipulates people emotionally as much as physically. She did. I don't know how those people were able to get up and move after some of the things you put them through physically. I'd be like, I'm not getting off my couch for a year.
Yeah.
They were awesome. But she asked, which moment in the story made you feel the most unsettled or suspicious? That's a good question. Which moment in the story made you feel the most unsettled or suspicious?
that's such a good question.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a good question, Gina.
I don't know about suspicious, but the bomb,
Mm,
and then when they were in, and they were both burned and stuff, and I kept thinking, oh my gosh, how bad are they burned? Like what did they look like, and how bad are the burns? But I guess I know they had to have skin grafts and some things done, but I'm assuming they came out fairly well after all of that.
That was one of the trickiest scenes to write because I
Yeah,
had to make sure that it remained realistic
mm,
and that their recovery was realistic.
yeah,
yeah,
We couldn't do the fiction magic and it just make it go away.
right.
right,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's one of the things I liked about this, was Gina, you making it seem so realistic, because it was. I mean, when you go through something like that, you're not going to recover in a day or a week or a month. It's going to take a while. And that really, I'm grateful that you did that you played that out and let people know, yes, she had some scars, and yes, he was dealing with things. So I like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. For me, I was the same about the same point, I guess, with the bomb because when I saw how hurt they were, I was like, are they ever going to be able to recover to finish the story? I mean, I knew they would, but I just felt like this. It was that all is lost moment, right? Where everything just feels like it's falling apart, and the villains won, and that was very unsettling to me. I didn't really like that, Gina.
well,
I did. I
and they did
thought it
have
was.
any
I really
support.
thought though that that's what it should have been, because if if the next scene had been that, oh, they recovered fine and they had no scars, there's so many books that do that. I'm thinking that is not realistic. I'd rather have books be more realistic and deal with reality,
Yeah,
even though it's a fiction book. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Janelle, I think you were going to say something.
I forgot what I was.
Happens to me all the time.
Oh, that's okay. I don't remember now. Oh, I do remember. I was thinking they had no support. Her boss was fired her. I mean, they
Mm,
were just on their own after everything that's happened to him. And then I'm like, if it were me, I would have been done
mm,
after
Me
I got
too.
blew up. And that's enough people. But then they go to the gala and they keep on. So yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I've been sitting on my couch sulking.
I would have quit
Well,
before that. Maybe even before Nick tried to quit when he finally started bringing turning it all back over to the FBI.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when they tell you that this is I knew they hadn't found the right person
Yeah.
Yeah.
but still, I probably would have just accepted that and gone on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's
get it.
time to quit and get rid of this.
Yeah.
I hate that Bridget died.
Oh, I know.
I was hoping she would make it, but I know
That's
I didn't
that's
always happen.
another thing that I argued with God about because I wanted
Yeah.
her to make it. I was hoping they're gonna find her.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that can't that's not how the story unfolds.
Yeah.
And she has to, and it's like, but no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? That's one of the things that made it more realistic because, I mean, how many times would that have happened, where the victim was found okay, So
Yeah.
I think that made it more realistic.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think she needed to because that had to have more impact for Ari. Ari. I can't, okay, I just can't do it. I'll call her Arizona.
Oh, just
No,
call it
no.
Arizona. Just
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that had unsettled her a bit in a way. I think that otherwise she would have not had so much emotion about it, I think, to where she would have finished off the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, um, okay, so readers and reviewers have described the novel as an escape room in book form, which we've talked about. What was your favorite clue, twist, or reveal in the story?
That's such a good question. I'm trying to think through them all.
Mm-hmm. I know, because there were so many, right? There were so many.
Yes.
I think the puzzle. I love that. And they were missing pieces.
Oh
Mm,
yes.
And they
Uh-huh.
had to make their own pieces to fit in. And then they knew the words then. I thought that was very clever. All of it was very
That is.
clever.
yeah, very clever.
I like
Yeah.
the way the music box played such an important part from the time she broke it to when they, got the key and everything. It all just tied together so well.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think because there were so many.
I agree about the music box. That was the thing that really stuck with me.
Yeah, it was all just really really good.
I tried to figure out those puzzles and I could not figure them out.
Me,
I was like, I read your thing at the end of your book, about you could try to figure out the puzzles along with the. I was like, I can't. My mind doesn't work that way, so I just had to keep on reading.
me too.
That was silly. Okay, so this is a really good question because this is about Bridget, and I don't think that. I mean, sadly, she had to go off so soon, right? Um, but it says Bridget initially appears spoiled and difficult, which you did a great job making her that way. But the story gradually reveals more depth to her character. Did your opinion of her change as the story unfolded?
It kind of surprised me
Mm-hmm. Me too. Definitely.
because of the beginning. It really surprised me. So that
Yeah. Anybody else? All right, Gina, so tell us your thought behind that.
Yeah, she surprised me too. When I write, often it'll just like come out my fingertips, something that I'm like, I did not expect that. And it'll take a turn that I wasn't planning on. And I always, I like it. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah. Did her dad die or he recovered, right? Or do we know?
Yeah, he recovered.
Yes, he
Okay.
was there. Yes.
It's in the ending part where it talks about where everybody
I
is
went.
waiting.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yep. Hmm.
Hey, Gina, I think I like that about how you write. That your characters talk to you. I like that. They kind of help you lead the book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So would you say that the story is more character driven or more plot driven? Or a mix of both?
Um, that one was definitely more character driven,
Hmm.
because the emotional journey did kind of lead where the next parts of the story would take place. So that one, book two was more plot driven, and I had to put the characters the into the story more.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's cool. Okay, we've talked about the faith elements. Oh, this is a fun question. Because I would love to see your mood board on how you develop what you had in mind for these characters. But if the puzzle within became a movie or streaming series, who would you cast as Arizona, Nick, or Enigma? And which scene would you be the most excited to watch on screen? Ooh, that's a good one. Hmm.
That one requires some thought.
Oh, oh, that's a good question. Well, the scene I would love to be excited to watch would be the shark tank um, escape. I would love to see how he did that. Because, I mean, he said he held his breath for 4 minutes. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
So,
And then he said he's held it for longer. I'm like, what?
but there are people are who do. They train themselves
Hmm.
to
I
sit.
researched to make sure that that was believable and that was a good middle of the road for what his abilities were.
Uh, so, what's the longest somebody can hold their breath? Do you remember?
I I don't recall now but maybe 7 minutes, or I know that there's people who professionally do it as free diving,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the people who pretend to be mermaids, they hold their breath a long time to
Oh, yeah.
so that they don't have breathing apparatus in the way.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's a scene I would like to see played out because I would love to see the shark circling, and him trying to get out and of course, drop a bobby pin that, he really desperately needs. Luckily he has a backup or, too. So I would like to see that. What scene, anybody else? What other scenes?
Hmm.
That's a good question. I still got to think about it because I thought the whole book was good. I'm like, I was really into the whole thing. I'm like, I can see it all playing out in my head, you know?
Hmm. Just one scene. That's the problem.
I agree with that.
Well, feel free to give us two if it helps.
Hmm.
As far as like who would play the characters, I can't get it in my head, but I can tell you I can see them both as being dark brunette.
Mm.
That's what I saw in my head, but I can't really think right think yet who I could see playing those roles. But I think they both have to be. Actually, she has to be a dark brunette. He could be a little bit lighter brown. Do you know what I mean?
I
Oh,
thought,
what about the scene when she's going out into the national park and has to get the rattlesnake out of the way first?
oh yeah,
Ooh,
that was a good.
ooh.
That one would, and then be able to just toss him off in the. Mm,
Yeah, no.
that one might almost come up there with the one with the old True Grit when with the rattlesnakes.
Oh,
I
oh my goodness, yeah.
I don't like snakes, so
don't either.
Me either.
yeah, I don't like.
I don't care if they're grass snakes.
Oh, I know. It doesn't matter. It's a snake. I'd be running the other way. And
Me too.
I mean, like I said, she was just such a, I know what I want to say, but I can't say it. So I'm trying to think of another way to say it. Um, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. She was a badass. Okay. She was just,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's got to be brunette. She's got to be tall.
yeah,
That's, you know,
she was. I mean, things just did not phase her, style her, anything, and
Hmm.
that's what I liked about her. I mean,
Yeah, see, because the reason I kind of focused in on the rattlesnake thing, I don't like snakes.
yeah.
And so if I've got one hissing at my boots like that, I sing first soprano, and I might have even had some rocks crashing by the time I screamed loud enough. I would not have. I don't know if I'd have had thought to, use my stick to get rid of the snake type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though he can't get past, she's safe with the boots. Nah, that's not me. Not with a snake. It'd make a good scene for the movie. One, the
Well,
screenwriter better not leave out.
all the settings in the Puzzle Within are actually based on real locations in Colorado.
Oh,
Okay.
So
oh,
every one of them was based on a real place, and I changed the name so that I could alter details as I needed.
Yeah.
But they were formatted from an actual location in the state of Colorado.
Hmm.
that is very cool.
Yeah.
I
Did you
wish
Oh,
I
live
that
knew
there?
which location.
I did. We lived there for 12 and a half years total.
Okay. That's why you knew how to write it so well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's really cool. I still have a brother who lives there.
Yeah. That's really cool. Okay, so movie stars do you envision, Gina, as these people? Tell us.
Well, you'll recognize the guy's name, but in my head, he looked just like Michael Bublé.
Oh,
Oh,
so
Yes.
Nick was Michael Bublé?
Yep, Nick was Michael Bublé. And then Ari was, her name is Laura Marano. I don't know I don't know what movie she's in as an adult. I watched her in a Disney sitcom when she was a teenager. And so that's in my head, that's what she looks like. She's got super big eyes and she's really skinny and really short. And
Okay.
he's short.
a very
Oh,
fiery personality.
What Disney sitcom was she in?
She was on Austin and Alley.
Oh,
hmm.
mm,
Hmm.
that was after my kids. Yeah. Okay. And so how about Enigma? Who did you see as that?
Um, I didn't, I don't think I had a movie where, let me see. I can actually open my mood board
Oh,
and
yes,
look.
please. Here, I'm going to let you share your screen. Why don't you? That's my screen stuff. Why don't you request to share your screen?
Let me find it.
I would like to see.
Go back. My computer's jumping around funny. So I go to click and it clicks on something different. Let's see.
Okay, there you
Oh, no, so Enigma, and I don't know the name of the actor. I think it was a model that I used,
go. Ah,
but just a picture that I found on Pinterest.
is he blonde or
Is
brunette?
it is it Cher?
yeah.
I don't think.
It said I gave you permission, so just click on share.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Now you can. Not. Hey, that's a spoiler.
No, I don't see anything yet.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, if you screen
There
sharing
we go.
this one.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, I see the Michael Bublé.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah.
Let's go back to the top for you. So that was my characters, and I had an image for each one of the women that had been what any of the daughters that had been killed during the story.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And so the gray-haired woman there in the corner, that would be Esme.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
Cool.
yeah, I actually found pictures of the actors when they were children.
Oh,
So I could kind of just imagining what they looked like when they were young.
oh, that's cool. All right. Kate Blanchett, the lady
So
from
then are
Michael's
my
girlfriend from The Office.
pictures of the different setting locations.
Hmm. That's really cool.
hmm.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Coast.
And so that's actually the lighthouse that inspired the lighthouse at the lake. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a real lighthouse in the parking lot that is the highest lighthouse in the nation because of elevation.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really cool. That's really cool.
And you can see on the bottom is the music box.
Oh, okay. It wasn't what I was thinking, but yeah, that's really
Yeah.
cool. And I love the Mini Cooper too.
Hmm.
Yep, their car. They designed their cars and all that.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Good. All right. Well, we're almost to our hour. I don't want to go too far. Do y'all have any other questions for Gina about the book, the characters, the storyline, questions you might have?
No, just
I
thank
had a
you.
question for the readers.
Okay.
Um, I would love to know what you thought about Nick's family and his
Yeah.
his background with his little brother. And so that was the first time I'd ever put a handicapped character in a book. And I was trying to handle that very carefully and realistically, but doing the best that I could for that. And so I would love people to tell me what they thought of Nick's family.
I like them.
Yeah.
I really like them. I think his dad was very compassionate, and we didn't really get to know his mom that much, but I liked his dad, and I do like the fact that you put the handicap, you know, the challenged brother in there. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you handled it very well. I think you gave him the respect and decency. Uh,
Yes,
for sure. And again, just something you don't see a lot, right? In something like that. And so I think that was just a really good way. I did really hate that he had not talked to his family for so long. So
me too.
I'm glad you did bring that, um, that you did bring that back, and bring that reconciliation. So I thought that was very sweet.
Hmm.
I liked his parents being because because they are so intellectually gifted people.
Mm.
It helped make Nick more realistic because he's got such a high IQ and everything he could do. It made it a whole lot more realistic and probable for everything he could do. You had it all tied together.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I would have liked to see more of Grandma. I bet she was a hoot.
Grandma was a hoot.
I bet she was a hoot. I would have liked to see more of her. But yeah, yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, no, you have to keep the book down to a
I
certain
know. I
point.
know. Yeah,
That
absolutely.
one was a big one anyway.
Yeah.
I think that was my largest, yeah, that was my largest book that I'd ever written.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, any closing words or thoughts before we say goodnight for now?
Just thank you, Gina, for writing this. This was very good. It was a very good book. I think this was the very first book of yours that I've read. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you get your hands on book two.
I got it's there. It's ready for me to go. So I can't wait. Thank you.
So, all
Yeah,
right.
it was great. You did a really good job, Gina. And I was just going to say about the Nix family. I kind of forgot about that until you were saying it. I'm trying to think, and I'm kind of slow here, but you see so much about estranged families now. So I thought that was really relevant, and it usually is about something, a huge misunderstanding, or something, they think one thing and the kids think the other thing. And instead of confronting or trying to sit down about it, um, I thought that was really good because, yeah, I see a lot of that on some of these groups and stuff on Facebook now about estranged parents and all these things going on. So it was very relevant, and I'm glad that you added that piece to it too. And so, yeah, but the whole thing was great. I loved it.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I would when at one of our author chats, when you described your book coming out, and I was like, oh gosh, I got to get my hands on that one. And I'm just so slow with the writing and the reading and keeping up with everybody. I want to read everything,
Yeah.
And so when this came
Me
up, I
too.
was like, okay, I had it, I already had it, but I'm like, okay, I know which book is next. And so, and it motivates me to get it done because I was reading it while I was doing my edits too. But it was really good. And so I'm really glad I got a chance to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for being part of our very first 99-cent book club discussion. A big thank you to Gina for being the first one to step up to the plate and help us out. Really appreciate it. And thank you for being here with us tonight. It's been so much fun. And I appreciate everybody showing up tonight and to have it for the discussion. I'm really excited about these upcoming months that we have to meet together and talk and visit about the books. Speaking of which, next month will be The Broken Weather Vane by Laura Denor. So yeah, I'm excited about that one. And so we'll all meet back here. Again, the events are listed in the other Facebook group, but please be sure to just let everybody know. And if you know somebody who might be interested in joining us, feel free to invite them. The more, the merrier. Until then, I guess that's it. I hope you all have a great evening and look forward to visiting with you again all very soon.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you too,
Thank you.
Gina. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
night. We'll see everybody next month.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good
Bye.
God
night.
bless y'all. God bless y'all. Bye.